Good morning, guys. Welcome to Carnivore Expeditions. We are at the trailhead to Mount Borah. Mount Borah is the highest peak in the state of Idaho, just outside of Mackay, Idaho, or it may be pronounced Mackay, Idaho. I don't know if it's pronounced Mackay or Mackay, but I'm here with my climbing team, Shane and Roger, and we're going to try to make it up Borah Peak. The elevation begins right off the bat. There's no warm-up to this one. Guys, stick around to the end of the video and we will give you some tips so you can have a successful climb of Borah Mountain. I know it looks like it's daylight, but it's actually about 6:30 a.m. The sun hasn't come up over the horizon just yet. My GoPro camera tends to make adjustments and make everything look brighter than what it really is. You really have to get an early start on this climb. It's important that you're off the mountain by noon. That's when the thunderstorms tend to roll in. All right, it is officially dawn and we are getting above the tree line. There are no longer any large trees, just some bushes and shrubs. We are a little over the 2-mile mark on our hike up to Borah Peak. It's 4 miles one way, so it's 8 miles round trip. So we're about the halfway mark going up. I can barely see my truck down there at the trailhead. But this is just an epic view. A little bit smoky because there are some wildfires. I think the wildfires are in Canada, but it's still hazy here. Still a spectacular view. We are taking a break before we attempt to go up Chicken Out Ridge. This is the beginning of Chicken Out Ridge. So, about to see if I'm going to chicken out or not. Dang, there's a lot of exposure here, but thankfully there's a lot of handholds and footholds. It's just 1,000 feet to the bottom if you make a mistake. This is why they call it Chicken Out Ridge. A lot of people turn around rather than go across this part. I was actually expecting it to be more vertical than horizontal, but so far we've just been going sideways rather than going up. Roger's doing a good job. He's taking the lead and kind of scouting the route. He's very good at that sort of thing. The trail, if you want to call it a trail, is only about 4 inches wide.
Razor edge over here.
Here's a little class 4 maneuver.
Let me get up to this crack over here.
Okay. Make sure that's solid before I commit.
On the outside corner, I didn't see. cracks and jugs in this. Well, we made it up the worst part of Chicken Out Ridge, so I think we got this thing whooped, but never say never. We've still got a little bit more fun stuff to do.
Okay, I can see the snow bridge, and we've got a little bit of a climb down, but there's a rope, so rope's gonna make it a lot easier. Here comes Shane down the rope. You can see that it's really jagged and gnarly, so it's good that we have a rope here. There are a lot of good footholds and handholds, but they're kind of hard to see. There's a 1,000-foot drop off on that side. And there's another 1,000-foot drop off on the other side. It can be kind of unnerving just due to the exposure and the fact that you can see 1,000 feet on both sides.
It's a little bit slippery going across this snow, so we brought our poles back out just for some extra stability, because there's a huge slide. And don't want to go down that slide.
This is much better than Chicken Out Ridge. We've got 3 or 4 feet of trail. Still a lot of exposure, but you got a big edge, so you don't have to worry as much about falling off. We just went across a saddle, and this is the final push up to the summit. It's still a long ways up, and we just have to grind it out. Beautiful views in all directions.
Shane is making a mad dash for the top. And that is the top. Can't go any higher than that.
What's that?
We made it to the top of Borah Peak. The Georgia boys and the Idaho chicks back here. So it was tough, but we grinded it out.
In there.
I went ahead and turned it on, so
Nice.
I can edit out the awkward pauses and stuff.
Oh, perfect. I'll just hold it. You guys do what you want.
All right, come on, Borah Peak. Yeah. Woohoo. Woo, woo.
Put your arms in the air. Just
Y'all left me hanging, man.
Cool.
All right, thank you.
of course.
All right.
So thunder, raindrops.
Hang around. Might as well be playing golf. They might be gonna wait it out.
The rain is coming.
So the side of the mountain was buzzing, and we had to descend lower quickly to avoid a possible lightning strike. This had happened to me last year on Mount Massive, and when thunder starts rolling in, you better start losing elevation.
Man, that thunder is getting closer, but I think we're low enough that we're out of the danger zone.
It's been sprinkling.
We are about a quarter mile from the trailhead, so we're almost finished with the hike. I want to give you some tips you can learn from our experience to make your hike a little easier so you can have a successful summit of Borah Mountain or Borah Peak. The first advice I would give you is to start early. If you're not on your way up the mountain before daylight, you probably waited too late. So I would suggest getting started really early. We started in late July, about 5:30 a.m. and I think that made all of the difference. You want to get up to the summit before noon. That's when the storms tend to roll in. Also, in the summer it's hot, and hiking in the morning is a whole lot cooler than hiking in the afternoon. Other tips, sunscreen, obviously. You're once you get above the tree line, you're really just kind of out in the sun. We didn't have any problems really with mosquitoes, although I have heard that other groups have had trouble with bugs. We didn't really have any problems with bugs. The next tip I'll give you is Chicken Out Ridge. We went up it the way that All Trails told us to go, and it worked out just fine. But we noticed coming down that there were actually multiple routes regarding Chicken Out Ridge, and we took a slightly different route coming back down, and we avoided a lot of exposure. You're not going to avoid all the exposure, but I felt less exposed taking that alternate route back across Chicken Out Ridge, and it looked like there were even more routes than the two that we explored. So those are my main tips for Borah Peak. I'm going to see if the peanut gallery behind me has any extra tips.
Training. This one, once it starts, it never really lets up. It's just this one is definitely just a grind. I would say start out at a slow pace and stay at a slow pace and take breaks, and don't start out too fast because it's not going to let up.
Yeah, if you haven't been doing any kind of exercise and this is like the first difficult thing you've done in a while, you're probably not going to make it. You're going to have to get a little training under your belt, cardio mainly, hiking, backpacking before you tackle this one. It's 6,000 feet of elevation gain. That's over a vertical mile, so, and of course 8 miles distance, so definitely got to bring your A game to this one. It's not just a give me. I can see the truck, so just about made it. Got something special happened today. I ran into a couple who recognized me from YouTube, and that was really special to run into someone who recognized me from my videos, and they said they enjoyed watching my channel, so I certainly appreciate all my subscribers. Folks, I'm going to put some links up on the screen to some other great outdoor adventure videos, which I think you're going to love. Thank you for watching. May God richly bless you, and I hope to see you out there on the trail.